Hey everybody, hello my music lovers, hello little monsters. I'm Nikita and I'm so excited because we're gonna talk about new Lady Gaga's album. That's right, LG7 is finally here. We waited for it 5 years since 2020 and Mayhem has arrived. It is here. Woohoo! Okay, we're all very happy. It's possibly pop music biggest event of the year. New Lady Gaga's album. Oh, I'm so excited. I listened to album like 10 times already, so I want to share some of my early thoughts on it. We're probably gonna be talking about this album for most of the year anyway, but here are some early early thoughts. I have here some notes, so I'll be looking at them. I was preparing for this. I I did my homework. Okay, first of all, Mayhem is an impressive work of production, songwriting, vocal performance. Here we see Gaga clearly at the peak of her artistry. She's just simply at the top of her game as a musician, as a vocalist, and as a songwriter. On this album, she worked with such acclaimed producers as Andrew Watt, Gesafstein, and Bruno Mars, of course. Hello, smash, global hit, Die with a Smile. This album is very ambitious. It's a work of a maximalist. It's 53 minutes long. It has 14 songs, and it's only a standard edition I'm talking about. Japanese and Target editions, they have extra tracks. Now, these days, of course, 14 tracks is not that many. For instance, Weekend just released a new album in late January, and it has 22 tracks. I mean, Taylor Swift, last year, she released her Tortured Department Poets album. It has whopping 31 tracks. However, Gaga's album is different. Here is how. While Weeknd and Taylor Swift, their albums like kind of minimalistic. They more or less used mostly like synths, especially Weeknd. He mostly leans on his smooth vocals and synths. And there's not much happening in terms of genres, instruments. It's contained. And Gaga, she goes full crazy here on Mayhem. She mixes genres. She explores new styles for herself. For instance, Funky Killer, very new sound for Gaga. She looks for inspiration in the 80s, in the 90s, in the horror aesthetics, in piano house music, for instance, Abracadabra, of course. Mayhem literally means chaos, and this album is a chaos. In the sense that it starts with dark techno like sounding Disease, and it ends with this sweet retro ballad Die with a Smile featuring Bruno Mars. Now, of course, we all know why Die with a Smile was added to the album last minute, because it's such a big chart success. Also, it won Gaga and Bruno Grammy for Best Duet of the Year just a month ago. So now Gaga's album, just thanks to this hit, it already has a #1 song worldwide and already a winning album. It's a Grammy winning album already. So of course she added it like no brainer. But I'm not sure if that song really belongs there. But even without Die with a Smile, this album would still be full of contradictions. Because, like, for instance, there is an angry rock track, Perfect Celebrity. You love to hate me, I'm a perfect celebrity. And then there's a playful, airy, How Bad Do You Want Me? Which sounds like 80s synth inspired song by Taylor Swift. Yeah. I mean, a lot of fans speculate that Taylor's back vocals are even on this track. I don't think so, but song really sounds like Taylor's track from 1989, or it's also very similar to Gorgeous. Those synths. Very similar. There is also a disco track, Zombie Boy. Dancing like zombies, which resembles Gwen Stefani's, of course, Hollaback Girl. It's bananas, bananas. There is, of course, there is a piano ballad, which is called Blade of a Grass. And not for me, but I know there are some lovers of that song. But what I'm saying is that there is so much happening on this album. The cover of the album is Gaga looking at herself in a broken mirror, and we see part of her face clearly, and part of her face is like distorted. And to me, it represents the theme of this album so well. To me, this album is about having those multitudes within yourself, having those different parts, and sometimes those parts contradict each other and they even fight each other, and you have to deal with it and you have to live through it, and still, you know, in the end of the day, you need to find your whole self. You need to, yeah, it's about navigating those different parts of yourself. And I think that's why so many people call Gaga a chameleon. She's a chameleon artist, just like David Bowie was, or Madonna, or Michael Jackson. And that's why I think there are so many. I mean, we can hear on this album Prince, of course, track Killer. We can hear a little bit of Michael Jackson on track Shadow of a Man. There is David Bowie, of course, on this album. And Gaga, just like those artists, she's always on the search for the larger-than-life sound. She's always looking for something more. She's always trying to embrace as much as she can, and honestly, for better or for worse. Sometimes it sounds, I know people who find Gaga to be an artist who tries too hard, and to them they see it as not as an advantage of her. And on this album, for instance, I can see their point. There are tracks like How Bad Do You Want Me, which I mentioned, and there is a track Vanish Into You, which I love. However, both of those songs, they almost asking for this fun, airy sound. And Gaga doesn't bring it to them really. Because her voice is so edgy, there's pain in her voice. And the way she sings those songs, she brings some dramatic tension to both of those tracks. She lacks some airiness that Taylor Swift or Lana Del Rey, for instance, have. She's very different, and she, in most of her work, you can hear that pain, that she's the artist who she's like trying to find like not even trying, she kind of knows how to get to her heart, and she has it, and she just keeps going around it, going over its edges. She's the artist who finds almost like she finds inspiration in her pain, in her when she's bleeding. She's writing and she's performing. In that sense, she's a true artist because she's someone. I don't think she's able not making art. This is like so important to her nature. It's so important to her to express herself, and that's why we love her, honestly, because she's not someone who's looking for easy ride. She gonna be walking through pain. She gonna be walking through fire, in search of truth, in search of real emotion. I think we all can appreciate that she's not making safe choices. Like, for instance, Katy Perry, her last album, 143, very safe commercial album. Gaga, she's not taking prisoners with her music. Mayhem screams ambition, compromised vision, and balls. In that sense, this album reminded me Born This Way, which is also like a hot mess of the album in a good sense, I think. Mayhem has anthems and bangers and bricks. And as you know, with a brick, you can build a house or sink a dead body. Choose wisely.